Hi Cancer, welcome to your April 2023 Astro-Tarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but I advise that you watch your ascendant first, especially if you're only going to watch one, then watch your ascendant sign because it's going to be the most accurate. Whenever I'm talking about astrology, you always want to check in with your ascendant sign first and then your sun and then your moon. Although sometimes, it's subjective as well. Sometimes you're going to resonate with one more than the other. I know I definitely resonate a lot with my sun at certain points, so as you please. All right, with that said, if you are a continued subby, Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's get into what the transits are doing for you over the course of April of 2023. So basically, I'm going to be picking the most important transits as I understand them. There are a lot of transits happening every month, but these are the ones that I really felt like honing in on because they're the ones that felt the most prominent to me. All right, so the first one, on the 6th of April, Mercury is going to conjunct the North Node. Now, it's not a particularly rare transit, but it does happen only once a year, right? And so there's a feeling to this that feels like it is significant to me. This is a fated communication or connection of some sort. Mercury ruling communication, phone calls, emails, text messages, all manner of communications, websites, and for you personally, and then obviously the North Node, sorry, not for you personally, for everybody, the North Node represents a point of magnetic energy that we feel propelled or pushed from within to go towards, right? So you've got your natal North Node, but then we've got the transiting North Node, which at the moment is in the sign of Taurus. This for you, especially if you're an ascendant Cancerian, to a lesser degree the sun and the moon, but still very relevant, is happening in your 11th house of social connections, friendship groups, the wider communities that you're a part of, your social media connections and or reach. And on top of that, it also represents benefactors or people that are in places of higher sort of positions that can help or assist you in some sort. And as if that wasn't enough, it's also the house of which you have your higher goals, dreams, or should I say your longer or further reaching goals, dreams, and wishes. So things that you really want for your long-term future, 5-10 years from now, is all found in the 11th. So for you, this is communications from friends or friendship groups or social connections that might be sharing something really important with you. Now remember, anything that happens with the North Node or the South Node, it's a fated event, but the North Node is about things that we're welcoming in or bringing into our lives. So what this suggests is you're having a communication from a community or, even a group of people. Maybe you're aligning with a new group because Mercury rules travel, especially of the locality. So this could be maybe you find a new group or you find a connection that you think, you know what, this is my tribe. These are my people. So that could be really nice. Now, it might also be a lucrative endeavor that holds like a solid pathway in some way, shape, or form. As the ruler of your 12th house, this could come through recommendations that you're not present to hear about. So maybe your name is being mentioned in circles, places, and spaces that you haven't even thought of. So that could be really nice. Okay, so for this, you've got the Page of Swords, so that's potentially an invite with the Three of Pentacles. So in order for this invite or this invitation to go ahead, and then you've got the Strength card. So the first thing that I want to say to you is, I touch wood and I don't want to put this on you, but you might doubt whether you have the knowledge, the skill, or the gumption to go after this thing that is offered to you. But I can tell you without a doubt, you absolutely have to trust in your learning, your knowledge, and your skill. You can do this. Like, you absolutely can do this, and you can knock it out of the park. That Page of Swords with the Three of Pentacles, that's you questioning yourself, right? But the three of Pentacles with the Strength card, you've got the knowledge, you've got the skill, you can go after this. So whatever comes in, whatever invitation, invite, interview, very possible that it could come that way, you are going to have to prove your stuff, right? You are going to have to show up. You're going to have to show that you've got the smarts, but you've got to trust in your heart of hearts that you can do this, because you absolutely can. Now, on the 11th of April, the sun, that life-giving luminary, that life-giving, oh my gosh, that life-giving luminary, the sun, is in your 10th house, but it's conjunct Jupiter. This is such a lucky space to have this kind of energy, because what it means is you are being amplified, right? The sun brings illumination, light, heat, wisdom, joy, abundance, and blessings. Jupiter brings growth, expansion, happiness, joyous energy. And it also brings, so if the sun is like authority figures, people that are in positions of power and like the structures, Jupiter represents like the lawmakers, the coaches, the teachers, the gurus, the people that are in places. So this could literally represent an amplification of powerful people that you meet through your 10th house, which is your career, your social status, your public standing, being a parent, being a homeowner, being married, being a wife, a husband. All of those things are statuses, right? A business owner is a status. An employee is a status. This combination is known as one of the luckiest days of the year. And so when you bring the sun and its illumination, warmth and heat and a spotlight on the most visible part of your chart, the 10th house, coupled with Jupiter that is blowing, someone or something is blowing you up. Like you are getting some big sort of forethought and recognition here, which could be absolutely amazing. Growth, expansion, illumination, support from powerful people or authority figures. It could be an opportunity to meet the world in a new way. It could also be a promotion. It could be an amplification of your status. And because Jupiter is the ruler of your 9th house and your 6th house, it means that your visibility is boosted and your brilliance shines. People see what you do and the value that you bring to it. For this, you have the Page of Pentacles. So if you've got a personal business idea or project to launch, this is a great time to do it. You've got the Queen of Cups there, a water sign woman, probably you. For those of you that are Cancerian guys, this could also be some new opportunity that finds you to shine. It's going to be something that you have to do the Cancerian thing with, and you have to nurture it. You have to nourish it into being. And then you've got the Page of Swords. So 2 pages represents disquiet. It can also be potentially as well, maybe this is work that has something to do with young people and or children. But for a lot of you, maybe whatever it is that you're doing is not necessarily upsetting the apple cart, but it really does see you needing to, it really does see you needing to kind of, you got to be present, right? This combination of energies is going to go to work for you. Trust me, like it will go to work for you, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to show up, okay? And maybe the way that you're being asked to show up is to, oh God, come on, brain. Maybe the way that you're being asked to show up is that you have to kind of, you got to be present, right? You got to be vocal. You know, someone gives you a spotlight or if someone gives you a microphone and you just stand there with your mouth open and nothing but air coming out, like awkward for everybody that's watching, right? Like you got to be ready for it. And you are already. That's what the energy of the 6th of April, the Mercury Conjunct, the North Node is trying to show you. You've got it. Now you just need to show it. On the same day, Venus, lady of attraction, money, finances, abundance, value, beauty, the goddess herself, is at 0 degrees of Gemini, trine to Pluto, newly at 0 degrees of Aquarius. This for you is happening between your 12th house and your 8th house. Like to say that this is sexy energy, like the connection of Venus to Pluto in a trine is already sexy on its own. The 8th house, where Pluto is for you, is sexy. It's sensual. It is the house of the taboo. Sex, sensuality, pleasure. But we're not talking about like, oh, this is nice, romance, making love. This is like, I'm not going to say what I was. I'm so glad I managed to catch myself. This is like, you know, like this is primal, you know, sexy, energetic kind of. This is a sexy energy. Now, Venus is attraction energy. Pluto is magnetic energy. And so what this provides you is a very powerful energy between this 12th and 8th house. So this could be your own psychic awareness, powers and abilities could be super on point at the moment. Now, if you know, if you've been with me long enough, you know, I always say Cancer to me is the most psychic of the signs because it's the one that can discern most of that and actually turn it into something. Yes, Scorpio and Pisces and even Aries actually are very, very intuitive. You know, for sure. But for me, it's the Cancer energy is the most psychic of the signs. And because the 12th house is the intangible, it's the house of spirit, the house of, you know, ghosts, specters, you know, things that can't be seen. It's the whispers up the back of the neck. It's the, you know, the voice that you can hear but you can't see. It's the, you know, it's all of that stuff, the 12th house. It's the intangible that, you know, is what I call their realm, right? And where the 8th house is the house of the occult. It's other people's money, taxes, debts, loans, sex, death, transformation. It's also the house of our wounds. And the 12th house is the house of our past. And so in some way, because both of these energies of Venus and Pluto are very magnetic, what could be happening here in the 8th house, your occult / psychic powers could really come into play. And because you're having that connection over to the 12th house, this could be like your intuition could be scary accurate at this time. Like if you're going to have a reading with somebody or you are a reader yourself, your powers could be heightened at this time. There's pleasure to be found in naughty ways that make your toes curl at this time. For those of you that have partners or lovers, etc., very sexy. Venus is the ruler of your 11th and your 4th house of home and family. So I really like this for lucky things that are coming through a lover or a partner. I like this for baby making. If you're looking to you know, to procreate, this is that. On a really sort of more mundane level, if you have children, this could be that, you know, maybe you have to have the talk with them about whatever. You know, obviously you have to discern what age is the right age, but if they're of age and they're around that age, this could be the time where you end up having to have such conversations. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. So you've got the Devil card. The 12th house was known as the house of self-undoing, all right? And look at this, you've got the Devil with the Empress. That is indulgence, that is gluttony, that is sex for the sake of it. This is, I'm single, so I am gonna... You know what's really funny? The guy in the 7 of Pentacles is leaning on a rake. So, you know, like the male version of a hoe, right? What is a hoe? It's something that you dig with, right? It just goes through things. And the male version of a hoe. The male version of a hoe is a rake. So, you know, if you're single, this could be a time where you are getting that work, okay? So just one way to look at it. It's very sexy, it's very sensual, it is blessings upon blessings. And that Empress with the 7 of Pentacles, because the Devil card's here, it could be through impatience, but there could be something that you really want that you kind of just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make this happen. It's been too long. And then finally, on the April the 20th, we have the Sun square to Pluto. And this energy is, remember, square energy, it makes you uncomfortable enough to say, fuck this, I've had enough of this. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something different so that I can have a different experience. But it's intense. Pluto is an energy of intensity. Pluto's in your 8th house of all of, you know, your 12th house is your, you know, it's your closet. It's where you chuck all of your stuff. But the 8th house is the experiential, bodily sort of energy of that stuff, right? So if you have a wound, a trauma, etc., that's your... Sorry, I thought I was going to be sick then. That's your 8th house, and it really sits in the body. Whereas the stuff in the 12th house, this is what's left behind. It's the silt that sits at the dark, spiky part of your consciousness, right? That's where the debris goes. I hope this is making sense. I think it does for a lot of you. Because the sun in Taurus at this point, newly in Taurus as well, like at 0 degrees, we've got a lot of 0 degree energy happening right now over the course of this month. So very powerful stuff. Friends and lovers might clash at this time. So it's definitely possible that your significant other, if you have one, could really, like, maybe a friend rubs them the wrong way or oversteps with a partner. Maybe they flirt with your partner and you're like, hey, listen, Peaches, you need to back up. If you know, then you know. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to let that one go. But seriously, this could be where friendship and relationship could have, like, something could go amiss or awry, and you might be like, no, this I have to say something about, because this is not cool. It could be maybe your partner doesn't like a certain friend of yours and tears a stripe off of them in front of all your friends, and you're like, you know, babe, I love you and I get it, you don't like this person, but not cool. Like, there's something here where a friendship and a relationship could clash. You know, that's one way that it can, and it, you know, for a select few of you, this might even be about how you're raising your children, or not, as the case might be, might come into question for a select few of you. And I tell you, if, you know, everyone's like, oh, Cancer's all about the feels and the food, fuck around with their children or their family and find out. That's all I'm going to say on that front. Okay, so for this, you got the Page of Swords. That Page of Swords has been active for you this month, guys. What this tells me is it is going to be a month where, you know, the pincers are going to be working overtime. Then you've got this with the Four of Pentacles. So this potentially has a financial slant to it as well. And then you've got this with the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo woman, but also something that you are trying to grow, expand, or nourish, potentially even something that you're trying to build, is coming into question, is coming under fire. And so here, it's almost like you're going to have to defend yourself or something that you see in a way that is very sort of finite. And I will say, it looks like you're not doing this with your feelings, which I actually really like, because there's so much earth in this triplet. The Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, it's like you're kind of putting your feelings to the side and just dealing straight up with the facts. When a Cancerian goes into that kind of energy, watch out. When they're not going just purely from the emotion and they just slip into the logic, be careful, because that's an adversary that a lot of people are not ready for, right? I always advocate for the water signs because they tend to get a bad rap. All right, so for your weeks of the month, let's see what you have coming up. So for the first week of April, you've got the Magician card. So that's Mercury going to work for you, right? Getting blessings and favor from some powerful person that potentially helps you get ahead. I love this. For your second week of the month, you've got the Chariot card. So that's your card, or one of them. And the Chariot card with the Magician suggests that maybe you're pulled out of your environment. So maybe you're having to travel, maybe you're interacting with new people. For a lot of you, it looks like you're taking some kind of test, you know, and as I said to you in the beginning, right, like, there'll be like an interview. There's going to be something where you have to show your skill. You have to prove your mettle. And with the Magician card and the Chariot, that's like passing with flying colours. All you have to do is show up, bring the goods, believe in yourself and do your thing, right? Like you will pass with flying colours, whether this is a driving test, a job interview, like the bar exam, if you want to be a lawyer, all that kind of stuff. So for the third week, you've got the Tower card. This is that Sun Square Pluto. I think this is, and the thing with the Tower card, remember, whenever the Tower card shows up, this is a big realization. For some of you, maybe you realize like a friend has always had a crush on your partner or vice versa, and it might get a little bit terse. It doesn't have to be that, but it's possible. The Chariot card next to the Tower, there is something here that you're almost being urged to slow down. All right, like don't do it all, because the Chariot card is what leads to the Tower. All right, and then finally we've got the Justice card. Justice has been very active this month, especially for the first and the fourth week of the month. So I'll be interested to see how this shows up. It could be, for a select few of you, this fourth week is maybe there's a breaking, the Tower card, of a contract, the Justice. So there could be a breaking or an ending of some sort that comes up. Very possible, not a guarantee. It could also be that a new contract that comes in completely disrupts your life. Maybe you get the dream job and they say to you, right, now that you've passed these tests with flying colours, we're opening up a new branch and we want you to be the manager of that. So you're like, yeah, I interviewed for the manager's position and it turns out the manager's position is 3 states away. Or the other side of the country if you're here in the UK. So, it could be a blessing, but it's like, oh, okay, my life is completely upended because of this. And then finally for your moon, so I'm not going to go into great depth here because obviously with the moons, you're going to do your full moon and new moon report. So on the 6th, we've got the full moon in Libra. So you've got the Gate 51 and Shock. That is the Tower card in this deck. It brings shocking information or news to you, and under the light of a full moon, a time of revelation. Something is potentially going to rock your world. Not necessarily for the worse, but it's definitely going to be like, okay, now that I know this, I need to adjust. And then on the 20th, so the same day as that Sun Square Pluto, I think it might be the day after, you've got the Taurus new moon, and for this you've got the Gate 12 and Caution. And the message behind this card is sometimes being too cautious is what holds us back. All right, so you got to strike a balance here between gut and grits and the sensibility. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I know you're probably thinking, hang on, what about the sectors? Don't worry, they're coming. All right, take care and I'll see you soon.